get ready for the intro. Okay.
Sure
Good
thing.
evening, everyone. This is your werewolf Wolf Tan tonight with my co-host Owen Lister, the Guyver, and tonight we are doing our top all-time favorite anime fights and battles. We'll be talking about our favorite 1v1 fights and our greatest anime battles. Say hello, Owen. Make sure that they know that
Hello,
you're alive,
everybody.
buddy. I'm talking. So, are you excited to talk about your favorite anime fights and battles?
Yes, I am.
I know you've been getting together lists. I've been getting together my list too. I'm hoping we won't stutter on this one because of the excitement that we're going to build up. Now, let's
Yeah.
go over the structure here. We're going to talk about anime fights as in our greatest 1v1 fights. We're going to be talking about our greatest heroes facing off our villains or even our heroes facing off each other. Rivalries.
Yeah.
Man versus man. Mano y mano on that one.
Yeah.
Greatest battles, our greatest army battles. From armies to enemy armies. We'll be talking about that too. And anybody who's in the chat, feel free to interject your favorite fights. Your favorite 1v1 fights, your favorite anime battles. For anybody who's joining in, thank you for so much. I was hoping to get this thing started. I know we started a little late due to circumstances that should have been in my control. I overslept, just letting you guys know that. I was I was taking a nap. So I guess I'll start this off with my favorite army battle. And this is from an obscure anime that I watched on Adult Swim back when Adult Swim was Adult Swim when they started shifting gears so many times,
Huh.
mind you. And it was from this anime, and you might have remembered that I've mentioned it in last night's Ishi and Cat stream. And it's from Reign the Conqueror, the anime retelling of Alexander the Great, done through the animation and art style of Peter Chung, who also did
Mm.
Aeon Flux, and he did Chronicles of Rick, Dark Fury, and even in the 90s, he also did Phantom 2040. That was the animated adaptation of Phantom. If you guys don't remember Phantom, it was that one 90s movie called The Phantom.
Yeah.
So one particular battle I wanted to talk about was the battle between Macedonia and Persia, which is a great epically designed battle. If I say so myself, it was a battle that was building up within this anime for the longest time. It was Alexander versus Darius's army. Now Alexander, up until that point, have already gotten together his cavalry to a lot of things had happened battle wise and political wise. Now for the battle wise, they've been building up this fight. He's had his troops ready. He's managed to enthrall a lot of armies together, including his horseback cavalry. His uh his his mentor has built him two mechanical golems to fight in his battle. Yes, they had puppet golems in this fight. That's how epic this battle was. And these guys towered above the armies the moment the Persians charged in. They even had armies that had these shields that combined together, and their feet turned into bug feet, dude. They would erect into digigrade feet, dude. And it was amazing how well it was put together, how well it was animated. So you had the yeah, Alexander and his cavalry running it and just slaughtering Persians. And mind you, Persians, their armor was everybody's armor is differently designed in this show. So what
Ah.
you don't know is that So if you ever looked up Peter Chung's style, each character
Yeah.
looked like they were like this hot model. Both men and women are very androgynous, so to speak. Very
Ah.
androgynous in a way. So if you saw Rand the Conqueror, you would thought that these guys would go and game for each other in seconds if you were saw them. Even the most masculine looking designed character of their group looked very quite feminine. So I mean, 300 had nothing compared to what Rand the Conqueror brought before 300 was a thing. But again, back to what I was saying with the armor designs, the armor looked like they were their own skin too. Like the skin, like the armor was like infused into their skin. You
Ah,
know,
okay. Yeah.
and the Persian,
A
yeah,
symbiote.
and not only that, the Persian army had like this whole constructed machine that will literally launched their troops up into the air to get into get beyond the defenses of the shield wall that or the phalanx that Alexander's men had put together to keep the enemies at bay, which is the brilliant brass strategy of its time. The phalanx, remember the Romanish version of the phalanx, which was a porcupine style, or was it Alexander's? Yeah, it was Alexander's style of phalanx. If you know your history in battle tactics, he employed his style that you see in Lord of the Rings, Two Towers, when the Orc army would bring out their phalanx
Oh,
the Elven army
like
charged at them.
like the human
That was
tank with their shields together.
basically a human porcupine phalanx. It was called. It was the
Ah.
human porcupine phalanx.
Oh, okay.
And what that was is that it facilitated a defense against even cavalry forces like horses would charge into those spears. So you had these guys that come out and they were attached to each other like a caterpillar, and they would detach and drop onto the troops and attack them. And the golem's function was if enemies were to get beyond the defenses, they would catch them immediately and just cut them in half. And you will have there's clips on YouTube. You have to check them out yourself, or anybody can check them out yourself. The anime is called Reign the Conqueror, but that right there to me hit me because this is the first battle against Macedonia versus Persia, and it was a visual spectacle. Even Persia had their own. It really showcased the strengths and weaknesses of both sides.
Mm.
Because even Persia employed their own mechanical monstrosities too. Like in one instance, there was this machine that literally cut off the legs of the enemies in one sweep. It was a bladed machine that swept, and you just see like dozens of dudes get their legs cut off, and like I was like, oh my goodness, this is a brute fight, and I'm loving it. But that's my first favorite anime battle from an obscure anime, and I'm gonna be throwing in a lot of very obscure anime, so you guys better be prepared. You guys better prepare. And Casey Scott with the with the best comment so far right now. Check it out, Owen. Oh, if anybody's not it seems like Casey's. We got three people watching. We originally had Melissa Harris saying business farewell, and I'm so sorry that we weren't able to start in time for you, Melissa, to check us out, and hopefully we can catch Silent Graver's stream as well. I can be able to watch Fantasia. Tonight is her Fantasia rewatch. I can go in there and still watch it through memory. So. Yeah. And of course, Ishi is also streaming tonight around 7, look like my time, but we can be able to catch that. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep moving. We're gonna keep trying to speed this along as much as we can. And I don't want to delay.
Yeah.
Owen, what's your favorite? Let's start with your first favorite anime battle. And I'm talking about troops. I'm talking about armies. I'm talking about warriors of any kind. You can even talk about futuristic stuff. And mecha. We can talk about mecha people. And there'll be something else I'll be interested in too. But go ahead, Owen. Go ahead.
I didn't exactly write any battles down. I was mostly thinking of one-on-one. But at the top of my head, the one battle that sticks out to me was the battle in the last arc of Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, where it was sort of like it was the Brigadier Army versus I forget the country's name. It's like basically Germany.
What I like to call that is it was the I would call that the coup of Central, where they were
Yeah.
you're talking about the Mustangs coup against Central to take down Fuhrer Bradley, when we now discovered that Fuhrer is an homunculus. And up until that point, you're talking about the most coolest fight I've ever seen in Brotherhood. That's where everybody in Mustang's group were utilizing everything that they could to take down Central. Yep. So please discuss what was the things that you loved about that fight.
Oh, there are so many awesome moments in there. There was that moment when too many to list. Let's see. There was a point where like Greed, was on Mustang's side and whatnot, and they had awesome battle with Wrath, and like everyone just put everything into it, and like two major characters died in that battle. There was also the one where
which we'll never, we probably won't be able to. Yeah, and we probably won't mention those characters because that will be spoiling, of course.
Yeah. And then there's that one where they had to take down Sloth and that undead army. That was really great when they had to combine forces.
Yeah.
Just like the whole battle in general was just like amazing.
Yeah, I love the fight between Sloth and Izumi's husband and yes, Louise Armstrong, the strongest of the strong arm family, the strong arm alchemist.
Yeah,
he's my favorite alchemist, by the way. Favorite state alchemist. Oh, Manly Man! I love Manly Man.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my favorite battle. I definitely got plenty of one-on-one moments on my list.
All right. So let's go with the 1v1 for me. And I'm pretty sure you've seen this anime. I'm pretty sure we all have seen this anime. It is Kenshin versus Aoshi from Rurouni Kenshin. And this was the early arc of Kenshin, where things were getting a bit things are beginning to turn for our heroes in Rurouni Kenshin. And this was when they're fighting this is where up until this point Kenshin and France have already fought a lot of Aoshi's men. But what really stood out to me was Aoshi when Kenshin came up to Aoshi. Aoshi just did not take him by blade. He was taking him by fists. He had this very specific bladed weapon that was built for defense or used mostly for defense. But he laid the smack down with his fists. And the moment it started, he just straight up just started beating the shit out of Kenshin. I was like, God damn! As a kid, I was like, whoa. You see a good shot of Kenshin and his body just getting racked back and forth for every blows. And then when the fight stopped right there, you see these bruises just form up all over Kenshin's body, and that's how I was like, dude, that was how badly he beat his ass. And not only that, Aoshi had the immense size of him. Dude was tall and a well dressed and very well groomed dude. I was like, dude, Aoshi was. But what really set the stage for what Kenshin was about to be pretty soon was the whole battle of philosophies and principles between Kenshin and the opponents that he will be facing in the near future. Now, some of you may have thought I was going to put Kenshin versus Shishio as my top favorite, but the only reason why I chose Aoshi was because that right there was like one of the one things that stood out to me, because again it was all about the fact that there was this one character that faced him with fists, just straight up fists, but only used a bladed weapon as a defense. It was an interesting fighting style that Aoshi had to fight against Kenshin. And the fact that Kenshin had to tap into his Batosai ability to take the guy out, which was something else. Which again, turning point that most of the times when he come across an enemy that he couldn't face, you have to tap into that side of him. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of my favorite 1v1 fights so far. So did you ever watch Rurouni Kenshin?
Let's see. I remember I watched some episodes, but have not finished it yet. I'll have to look it up again when I get the chance.
Yeah, it's Kenshin versus Aoshi. Just letting you know if you ever want to look up that fight. It's a very brief fight, but it's a very interesting fight, to say the least. Again, it's all about how this whole stream is all about how what kind of battle or what fight really impacted us. It's not really like our complete top favorite, because we don't have a list. We're just going by winging it, you know. So let's go with your 1v1.
Oh, yeah, I got a whole list of 1v1 fights. Let's see, on the top of the list I wrote that really impacted me the most was Kenshiro versus Rao the Conqueror from Fist of the North Star, the animated movie.
Oh,
that final battle. Yes.
Elaborate, please. Please elaborate.
Yes. Oh, the best part about that was that it was a bit of a build-up from the beginning. Like when you see, when Kenshiro was injured by his ex-best friend and was left there to die, then Jaggy tried to get Rao to finish Kenshiro off, but Rao was like, no, I want to battle him when he's full and ready. He's too weak. There's no glory in that. And so basically, it's sort of a big build-up between these two brothers with godlike power, and you find out that Rao had made his own empire, and rides a horse that looks like he's been taking more than a couple of steroids, and then basically. At the end, when both Kenshiro and Rao finally face off against each other, it's like they don't even start fighting. They just let off their key energy, and that was enough to cause buildings to crumble, just start a lightning storm, and starting high winds. It's like they're going to fight.
That's how epic that battle was. That's how that epic was. Like it was, again. This goes back to what I was saying with Kenshin and my battle with Rain the Conqueror. The build up is what sells the what really sells the fights, and that's something that you'll have to take into account. That's something that I myself have to take into account in our respective creative property. With
Yeah.
my after years, which are Beetle Blades, we have to we have, for the major fights that we're going to have in our stories that to leave a big impact. We have to do a very good build up to it,
Yeah, build up.
and we have to have a payoff. But let me add my 2 cents of route. Actually, you know what? You know what? Actually, that's gonna be my next 1v1. Except, except it's what what Casey Scott just said, and this was what I'm gonna bring up next, and
Yeah.
it's my favorite 1v1 in Fist of North Star is definitely Ken versus Shin from their respective rivalry. Now that the reason why I like that one was because it's the culmination of a revenge story, and that the revenge story aspect of that series so far before Ken starts going out into the into bigger fights. So what really culminates for me when it comes to Ken versus Shin was
Yeah.
that there was a very deep layer to Shin. Shin's a cruel up until this point when you see what you see of Shin. Shin's a cruel guy. He's built
Yeah.
up his own fortress. He's already constructed his own kingdom. I think it's called Second Paradise, I believe. Somebody will correct me in the chat. So up at that point, he's kidnapped Yuria. He's pretty much
Yeah.
made her his bride. He's done so
Yep.
much cruel things to people, and yet Yuria will never give him the same love that she gives to Ken. And
Yeah. No matter.
one thing I have to give Shin, he never forces her into loving him. He does everything to
No.
woo her in. It's kind of like the
Oh
whole
yeah.
Hades and Persephone story. So he tries to do everything to woo her
Oh.
in to make her fall in love with him for real. So you get that extra layer to about Shin. He's cruel to everybody else, but he will never
Yep.
be cruel to her. Up until a point, he's
Yep.
he's he's never done anything to her. He never abused her. He never
Nope.
let's say sexually assaulted her.
Nope.
He's always been wanting to you know be the perfect man for her. And this is what
Yeah.
also culminates. Also, it's the origin for Ken's scars. Shin put those scars there himself, and the
Yeah.
7 scars on his chest, which symbolize the Big Dipper
Yeah.
pattern for the North Star. So we later find out that Shin was the one who puts those scars on his chest. His best friend. That's another thing. Shin is his best friend. They trained.
Yeah.
They trained. I believe they trained in the same academy together. And long story short, when we get to the fight, Ken is just ready. Up at this point, Ken just reached to the plateau of that kingdom. He's already
Mhm.
killed just about every major subordinate of Shin's army, and 2 dudes still come out after him, and he takes them both out like with ease. But you see that before when we got to that fight, Shin had beaten Ken the first time, but
Yeah.
now that Ken is has returned, it's on his level now. Like Shin has nothing on Ken. Like 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 he tries everything. He tries every style, every move that he does that he knows of his fist, and Ken is just deflecting his attacks. And there's a moment where it was shocking that took the turn for the worse, where he literally attacks Yuria.
Mm.
But we soon find out in that same vein that Yuria is a doll, like a dummy. it
Mm.
it really shocked me when he attacked, but I was relieved to find out that Yuria was alive still, even though Shin outright said that Yuria killed herself by jumping off a building, which we later found out that she
Oh.
didn't. She basically lived. It's not really a spoiler. This show has been going on for a long time. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have read the manga by this point. So I'm telling you right now, Yuria is still alive, and
Hmm.
and that's where Ken begins his new journey to find her. But in the same vein, when Ken does his special move and hits pressure points, Shin decides to die by his own hands on his own terms by casting
Dang.
himself off the building. That to me was like another big shocker of that fight. Like Shin respected Ken that much. I mean, he would let the technique kill him. You know that. But he said, "I'm gonna die on my own terms. I will not let
Yeah.
your fist take my life." And he cast himself as basically committing seppuku. He basically commit in
Yep.
a way. If you want to integrate the whole samurai aspect to that fight, he basically committed seppuku
Yeah.
in that regards.
Mm.
So that like that to me was like the culmination of Fist of the Star, and to me that really cemented me of what's really going to be going down in Fist of the North Star. So let's go into our next battles. So my next battle would be it would be the Zentradi versus the entire Zentradi fleet versus the Super Dimension Fortress or SDF-1 from Robotech, where they managed to
Uh,
get the SDF off the Earth to combat the bulk of the fleet of the Zentradi. And before they even get into that fight, the Zentradi, oh my goodness, this will really cemented Robotech for me. That up at this point, Super Dimension the
mm-hmm.
SDF-1 have everybody ready and safe in that fortress, right? And the Zentradi just brings all their shit
Yeah.
and literally surround the entire planet. They didn't point their guns at the instead of pointing their guns at the SDF-1 because they wanted to recover the SDF-1 because they want the proto culture that the SDF-1 had. They point their guns literally
Yeah.
at the planet and fired on the entire Earth.
Ooh.
I was like, whoa, whoa, dude, whoa! They literally fired their beams at planet Earth, almost wiping out human civilization on the planet. They leveled Earth before the fight ever begun. And
That's how you know they're serious.
this line, man. Yeah, it was really serious. This line, man. Min May, I believe, was the one that addressed Rick. Is everyone dead on the planet? And Rick says, probably. And she replies, oh no. I was like, dude, that literally just put the human race on a endangered species list by that point. They pretty much almost wiped all of humanity to near extinction before the fight got on. And then there was the moment where Lisa Hayase, she takes the SDF-1's arm, just literally just run that shit through one of the ships of the Zentradi and blew it from the inside out. That was amazing to me as a kid. Like they literally had that fish just punch right into that ship, and they unload their shit into it, and you see like just the ship just warded up with just explosions inside the ship, and it blows up. and they used this technique multiple times in that fight in later episodes. But the one thing that they did was the Vertex were basically protecting the SDF-1 while they're trying to get their weapons in order. Because another thing what I like about Robotech is that each army is prepping themselves. They're not really prepared for the fight half the time. So the Super Dimensional Fortress had the flight capability, but it was not combat ready yet. What they did have ready was their defenses, were these weird ass shields that they had to maneuver through these little ball handle things to protect them from any incoming fire. It was almost the most impractical defense system that the Super Dimensional Fortress had, but they managed to protect the ship with that thing. You see the girls, and this is what I love about Robotech. Everybody has a part to play in the fight. Man, women, whatever, alien, whatever, and everybody's doing their part. The girls are literally just frantically trying to protect the Super Dimensional Fortress with those shields, and that's all. Mind you, I did mention how impractical it was, but that was all that they had as far as shields was concerned. Because the primary shields they had for the Super Dimensional Fortress wasn't up yet. Because I think it was still going through transformation phases right now. So that to me was like one of the coolest battles I witnessed in anime too. Well, before we get to you, Owen, let me address the new players into our stream. We have my good old buddy Ivan Mendoza, and we have the Mad Ginger Crunk. Welcome aboard, everybody.
Hello.
So go ahead. I'm about to call you Ivan. Go ahead, Owen. Let's hear your next battle. And let me go full record. Let me go full record right now. Let me address something before you begin. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you got some Avatar: The Last Airbender in you too. Come on, I know you do. No, let me point this out right now. Let me point this out right now.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm gonna go on record right now, online on the stream right now. If anybody's gonna watch this on the backwatch, I'm gonna go on record right now. Avatar: Last Airbender, because I'm gonna bring this up right now, because it's on my list too. But we all know that Avatar: Last Airbender is not, in fact, an anime. I'm throwing that right now. This is not up for debate. This is not subjective. This is objectively speaking. Avatar: The Last Airbender is not an anime. It's an American cartoon that wears its anime influence on its sleeve. But as a whole, that is all that it is about that show. What really drives that show is the fundamental cultural aspects of Buddhism, Hinduism, and other Middle Eastern and third world cultures and religions and spirituality. That's what drives completely what Avatar is the basis of. But as a whole, it was made in America. It was made with anime like features. Every character exaggerates their features just like anime, but it is not an anime. Now, here's my next argument about that. Those who say that Avatar: The Last Airbender is considered anime, but in the same vein, don't believe Teen Titans is not anime. You cannot favor one over the other. If you're gonna say that, you might say the same thing for Teen Titans, the original Teen Titans, not Teen Titans Go.
Yeah.
Not Teen Titans Go. I'm talking about the original Teen Titans. That one also had anime influence. Everybody has their features. Everybody had anime aspects in anime comedy, and they even lifted some stuff from anime when they went to Tokyo. So if Avatar's an anime, so is Teen Titans. You cannot say that Teen Titans is not an anime if you're gonna go with that. So both properties are not.
Yeah.
That's how I'm gonna judge Avatar: Last Airbender about it being anime. It's not anime. No ifs, ands, or buts. No counter arguments. Not anime. Because if you're not gonna accept Teen Titans like that, with the way how it does its stuff, It's not anime. Same thing with
Yep.
Ruby. Not an anime. It wears the anime
Oh.
influences on its shoulders, but it's not an anime. It's designed like
Yep.
one, but it's not an anime. So sorry to take up time about that. I had to address that, but given let's go with this. Given with that in mind, I'll be making exceptions for those shows. So if anybody want to throw in their favorite fights from those shows, y'all can throw that in right now. All right, Owen, I'm sorry to take up your time. You go ahead with your favorite battle.
All right. Uh, this one is like technically a battle, but it's also in the sort of one-on-one vein. Also, it's in its own sort of category, you
Okay.
could say. But you know the anime Seven Deadly Sins?
Hell yeah. Actually, yeah, that's another on my list too. Go ahead.
All right. All right. My personal favorite was when Meliodas personally took on the whole Ten Commandments, like all of them.
Oh, that was in the third. That was in the third season, right?
Yeah.
If I recall correctly. Yeah, that was a good
Yep.
fight.
That was in their tournament arc, I
That was an
think.
awesome fight, actually. Yeah,
Oh
that's
man.
when they did their whole
That,
little tournament thing. The Ten Commandments are freaking bananas.
yeah, but
Freaking
like when
bananas, man. With their personalities.
yeah, Meliodas was like, all right, everyone get out of here. I'm going to take him on by myself. And then he unleashes his like more demonic side and like I also will say this was perhaps one of
Yeah.
the best animated fight scenes I've ever saw. Like it was just like gorgeous to
Oh yeah.
watch.
It
When you see
really
the Ten Commandments going
contextualized
all
also
over
the nature.
turn.
Yeah, it contextualizes
Hmm?
everything about Meliodas up until that point. We didn't even know Meliodas was a demon. That was the biggest
Yeah.
reveal right there, was that Meliodas is the demon prince. Actually, he's one of the demon princes of the demon world,
Yep.
the demon kingdom. Yeah, that's where his power comes from, and we get a bit more context to his abilities later on in the latest season that they brought out. I'm not through that season yet, but there's some more stuff that's contextualized, especially how the Ten Commandments came to be too, especially certain members that joined them. Like you're
Yeah.
in a way, I gotta say, Seven Deadly Sins is almost like Avatar when it's storytelling, because it gets right down to the nitty
A
gritty
bit.
of
Yeah.
every villain's layered side to it. So, anything you want to add to that
Yeah.
fight before
To
I
the
move
fight.
on?
I mean, like I said, it was like first it was just awesome to see like Meliodas like go full like demon prince on them, and also like I said, the
Just go
animation
ham.
was like top. Like it was just like they just let the animators go wild with that one, and I can tell they were having a
Mm-hmm.
ball with it. And also on a side note, when I watched Seven Deadly Sins, the first thing that came to mind was this is like the medieval. This is like Dragon Ball Z meets the medieval times.
It's like medieval Dragon Ball almost,
Yeah.
with a little bit of yeah. I would say my favorite battle of Saturday Sins was the first part of the series where towards the end,
Oh
I forgot his name,
yeah.
but that dude, he literally becomes a straight up demon, and like everybody up until this point where it's just like face facing off this guy. He killed just about most of the knights, and like he just leveled the whole
Yep.
battlefield, just knocking everybody down. And of course, Elizabeth reveals her nature too, which I'm not gonna reveal who and what she truly is, because
Yeah.
that gets actually that actually gets revealed in the fourth part that's out now on Netflix. But
Yeah.
she
Haven't seen the
basically
fourth part yet.
She basically just, yeah, people will complain that it's Deus Ex Machina. I'm like, whatever. It's
Yeah,
good. It's it's going to get to contextualized later on as the series progresses. Especially
yeah.
when you go back to watching that and you know exactly who and what she is.
Hmm.
It's kind of, in a way, it's kind of okay Deus Ex Machina. Just like how I
Yeah,
label the final fight between. I'm not gonna get into that yet. Soon. But
yeah,
yeah, she revives everybody, heals everybody up, and freaking all the seven deadly sins just go ham on the dude. Everybody use
yeah.
their special abilities. They beat. They go ham by fisticuffs, power,
Mm.
abilities, even even straight up any like I'm blanking on my words because I'm distracted by a new the new member in our stream just popped up. Hello, Amelia Ebanks.
Ah, hello.
So we got that. That's a first. We got somebody who's not really a regular in our stream. So welcome.
Well,
Yeah. Back to what I was saying. Yeah, like it really cements like Seven Deadly Sins for me, like how the group dynamic works in that show. Yeah, sometimes you get the moments where the enemies the Seven Deadly Sins get into dysfunction amongst each other.
yeah.
But at the end of the day, they work, they come together and fight as a team. And what really made that battle for me, that was not the whole entire group, and they whoop
Oh,
ass.
yeah.
That was not like at that time they did not have Merlin. Merlin had to go assist Arthur somewhere else, and they definitely did
Oh, yeah.
not have Escanor. And you know, if they had Escanor in
No.
that battle would have been over a long time
Oh.
ago. And mind you, that battle took that dude knowing Escanor's abilities and knowing who Escanor is,
Yes.
dude. And let me add something.
Oh.
Here's another thing. Here's another thing of note. Do you also remember that fight took place in daylight? So yeah,
Yes.
yeah, he was, dude. Dude,
Oh.
he, dude was lucky that Escanor was not in that fight.
Yeah. That would have.
Like the whole crew wasn't even
Ooh.
there. Like the whole crew wasn't even there. And once Elizabeth like revitalized them, they went ham. And again, he was lucky that Escanor was not there. Escanor would have ended that in 1 minute at least. So we're going to our next one v
Definitely.
one.
Yeah.
So what will be your next 1v1?
My next 1v1, this will be my first live action anime fight.
Ooh. Yes, we'll be
And
adding
it's,
live action stuff here too.
yes. So
Anime
my
wise,
favorite
not
live, yeah,
Go
and
ahead.
my first live action anime fight scene, 1v1, is Guyver versus Guyver Zoonoid.
From Guyver to Dark Hero. It uh,
Yes.
for those who have not been on the stream or been to any of the streams, know full well that when it comes to Owen, it always goes back to the Guyver. Always goes back
Yes.
to the Guyver.
Always.
Always. And this
Oh,
was no exception. And I was waiting for this for a while since I began this stream. I was waiting for this. I was like when he's gonna bring the Guyver, when he's gonna bring the Guyver. Because up
all
at this point
about
when
build
I was
up.
preparing for the stream, I know Owen's gonna bring in the Guyver, and I know which Guyver is gonna be. So Owen, tell me
Yes.
what did you like about that fight?
Oh, okay. There was so many. So basically, like plot wise, when Sean was like searching for his inner self, basically, losing control of the Guyver,
Mm-hmm.
trying to wonder why was he cursed with this thing. And then he like finds out the truth and all of that. While at the
Yeah.
same time, we have Crane trying to get the like ancient aliens' weapons, and then you find out later he actually put on like that Guyver unit that they discovered that was somewhat damaged, just like in the anime. And so what? So before that, we had like Guyver taking on like the rest of the Zoonoids, and he just like murdering them all. And then he's about to take out
Yep.
Crane until they discovered Crane had already like activated the unit. And so when Crane went full on, biomorph and then turns into basically like a super predator or something like that. Oh, that's where it was that moment I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. And they did it, and it was
Yeah, and
the best way I can describe this fight choreography is like a much more violent version of Power Rangers in every good way possible. Like they do a whole bunch of crazy
you know,
moments. Yeah,
now that you mention it, and I'm gonna bring context to this too. They could, Powers could have hired these guys to do the fights for instead of relying on Sentai footage. Now contextualize. They could have used the Sentai footage for the Zord battles mostly,
yeah,
but they could have created their own footage with the suits. I guess since Japan didn't release the suits out to America at the time,
yeah,
because they only brought them in the suits in the second season and forward. But
yeah.
at the time of the first season, the first season, um, they didn't have the suits for the actors to be in.
Uh,
So but even then, like in the same vein, I still kind of wish that well, we did get our own very footage, our own we still made our own footage of Power Rangers fights, but that was mostly when they get the suits out to America.
yeah,
But like when you get to the major battles, the major fights, they say the time for with the Sentai footage. So like when you get the Zord battles and the monster fights,
yeah,
that's all Sentai. But when
yep,
you get into like when you get into like American footage,
yeah,
it came down to the putties and the monsters first before they get to the Zord battles. That's when we
yeah,
get to that's where things start looking different. If anybody ever noticed that
yeah,
when they were little kids, why Angel Grove would change in so many scenes is because they use Sentai footage. There's a scene
yeah.
where Rita launches this space shuttle, and if you saw on the space shuttle wings, you see the rising sun symbol on it. And I
Yep,
made this joke one time when I was rewatching. Yeah, I was rewatching. I was rewatching the first season, right? And I made this
yeah,
joke, and this was right up until I was watching the Green with Evil arc,
yeah.
and I throw this on Facebook, and I have a friend who I still keep in contact with today. I made this joke. So Angel Grove takes place in Japan as well, and she's like, "What?
Mhm.
How did Angel Grove take place in Japan?" If you like, I was like, I was telling her, if you look at the footage of some of the clips, those were Japanese
Yeah,
footage. It's like, really? I was like, yep. You didn't know, did you? Nope. None of us did. I learned it through somebody else, but yeah, Angel Angel Grove was smacked into Japan, and I'm just realized we're taking this completely off base from Guyver. Let me throw
yeah,
my 2 cents of that fight. Actually,
uh, yeah. Well, what I was gonna say is
it has.
it was
Go
funny
ahead.
that you mentioned
Let
about
you go first. Owen.
yeah. Okay, it was funny that you mentioned about like how the fight choreographers should have been involved in Power Rangers. Well, funny enough, the choreographer, which they named like stunt choreographer, but it's also fight choreographer. Anyways, the guy who did it is Koichi Sakamoto, which he actually did
Mm.
choreograph fight scenes for I believe Super Sentai and Power Rangers, and I think even in some Kamen Rider shows.
Uh oh.
Yeah,
You kind of cut out there, Owen.
I did.
You, yeah, you did. Like for a brief moment, you kind of cut out. What were you gonna say? Sorry about that.
Oh,
Sorry about that,
uh,
everyone.
okay. What I was gonna say is that the guy who choreographed the fight scene in Dark Hero is Koichi Sakamoto, who also helped choreograph the scenes from Power Rangers and Super Sentai, and even a little bit of Kamen Rider.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's why when you
May I
watch
also
how,
point out?
yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna also add that if you look up Power Rangers RPM,
yes,
it's one of the first Power Rangers shows that does not rely on Sentai footage, or at least
oh yeah,
has a very lack of Sentai footage. Everything from the Ranger fights to the Zord and monster fights, that is, by my understanding, I think that most of those shots were completely American shot, and I think there was
oh
some
yeah,
Sentai footage that they were using in some of the
yeah,
fights.
yeah. At that time,
Maybe due to the transformations of the
yes,
Zords, the morphing of the Zords, but all the fights, both Ranger and some of the fights between the Zords and the monsters, that's all us. That's a crowning achievement after so many seasons of Power Rangers, as so many years of Power
yes,
Rangers. That's one crowning achievement I gotta give some Hayan Saban. Well, actually, no, Hayan Saban did not do anything for RPM. This was all Disney before Disney started
oh
going corporate
no,
overlord.
yeah,
Yeah, we're not gonna get into that.
nope,
So again, my 2 cents about the Guyver versus Guyver Zonoid, the music,
yes, oh yeah,
the
like
music.
it gets like pumped. Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
one of my favorite my favorite moment from there was both funny and kind of awesome was when like Crane finally just like at this time he just loses his mind like he just goes crazy like mad with power where he kind of just does
Yeah.
does a handstand and just starts running towards Sean handstand running. In all my life, I have not seen a fight
Yes.
scene where a guy runs after the other guy in handstand.
Yeah, that was
I was
very
like,
that was in a way kind of Japanese, if you really
yeah,
think
but
about it. And
kind of, yeah,
to this day, I will never know what he was planning to do had he grabbed uh Sean the moment Sean flips out of there, literally.
yeah.
Literally flips
I
out of that situation.
I assumed it was just Crane going mad with power, like he like loses his mind at this point, out of control and
I
all
just
that.
to me my interpretation is like how powerful the Guyver is.
Yes,
It takes us back to one of our us also favorite 90s movie, Star Kid. You know how
yes,
size movements is,
yeah. Like he just hops
because
around like a Mexican street
the
movie.
yeah like the power is so immense that every move that he takes he just like it's like a super power jump, like an
Yep.
Olympic power jump. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to me, I was like going back to Star Kid when it came to Crane. I think it's like the Guyver was so agile and powerful that he could just literally do just about any movement that he could, and we wouldn't question it that much because that's basically what the Guyver is. It's enhancing all of your strengths and your
Yeah.
agility. So for him to get on his to literally just does a backflip, does
Yep.
a bull preparation charge thing, and just
Yep.
go straight up on his hands.
Yes.
That was something. That was something. Plus,
Also, I want to say,
we got. Yeah, go ahead.
okay, I just want to quickly, I just want to give like props to those stunt performers. Like, it must have been quite hard performing
Yeah,
some of those insane stunts. I mean, like when you see them fall or get hit and they fall on a hard surface, like that wasn't CG. That was them taking a hit. So props to those stuntmen.
yeah. And we also gotta add the famous line, the next step, or
Yeah.
this one. You gotta take it off, Crane. That suit's damaged. Well, due to you, we'll be fine.
Well, fine.
I was like, dude.
Those are some straight up anime lines actually right there.
So since we're talking about live action anime movies, let's go with Alita for me. And for
Ooh. Yeah.
anybody who's probably not seen it, I'm talking about Alita Battle Angel. Excuse me.
Mm.
So one fight that I really did like was the first time she the first fight that where she protects Ito from the two robots.
Yeah.
Again, looking on their names, it's only been like once I've seen that movie in theaters. But the moment
Yeah.
she leaps up into this air, does a several front flips, and just does that freaking kick and just detaches his arm with that kick. I was like, at that, it was in that moment. I was like, dude, we got some fans working on this one. We got some
Yeah.
fans working on this one. Cause that's exactly how Alita fights. Like they got her Panzer Kunz down, like really translated well.
Yeah.
Really translated well. Like bruh, the lady with the blades, the way how she
Yeah.
slams into that girl and she just dies on the spot into that wall. And then
Yeah.
you got the other guy with the bladed arm, and the way how Aaliyah takes him out is just freaking amazing. Like, dude just didn't realize what was going on before he died, and I was like, wow. I still have to get that movie on Blu-ray.
I already have it on
Hopefully,
Blu-ray.
hopefully by the end of this year. You're lucky then. Hopefully we'll do a rewatch of it then.
Hopefully,
As a matter of fact,
yes.
we can also that's another thing I was hoping that we could also do, but I don't know how you're gonna watch YouTube on any of your devices. I was thinking about doing a rewatch of the OVA of Battle Angel Alita with better
Oh,
dubbing, mind you.
yeah.
I actually found a Alita on the Battle Angel Alita anime on YouTube with better dubbing to boot.
Wow, really?
Because if you've seen the original dubbing, it's kind of
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
scream too much in that one, whereas it's toned down in this version. So
Ah,
let's go with battles again. Let's
okay.
go with battles again, and I'm blanking on battle right now, but I will have to say let's go with something from another mecha,
All right.
Gundam. Let's
Of course.
go. Let's go with the battle against Libra and Gundam Wing.
Hmm.
So what really stood out to me about this fight was all the Gundams have at this point have installed the Zero system into each Gundam, and they have to use the Zero system to fight the mobile dolls, because the mobile dolls, again, this goes back to context. The heroes are always tested and measured as the
Hmm.
story goes along. The heroes keep getting tested and measured, ability, about ability. So for them to face off against the mobile dolls, they have to install the Zero system to
Ah,
combat them a lot much better. So, and here's the drawback to the Zero system. Unfortunately, the drawback to the
what?
Zero system is the more you fight with the Zero system, the
Yeah.
the 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 stress it has on your brain, and
Oh.
it causes the user to hallucinate. Sometimes hallucinate their possible death. Sometimes
Oh.
hallucinate hurting people that they love.
Oh.
So that was that right there was a very big drawback. It happened multiple times with several characters. It happened to Katra when he used the Zero system before. It happened to Hero a few times. It even happened to at this point not Trace Zex, now revealed to be Miliato Peacecraft, Relina's brother, who has led his own campaign against uh against the Earth Spear, or Earth as it's called. You know what I'm
Ah,
saying? And Miliato has already controlled Libra, which is this super space station that has this big fuck all cannon ready to fire onto the planet. And at this point, like each character has their own battle to fight. You have Trace versus Chang Wufei. You have I believe you have Hero versus Miliato. You
mm,
have Duo and everybody else just like fighting every mobile dog there is, and then you have the scientists or the architects of the Gundams that took part in disabling Libra when they ran their ship into Libra, ultimately disabling the space station. And then you have a lot of things happen in this fight. You have Relina taking at this point taking her responsibility to honor her Peacecraft namesake and rely on the Gundams to submit pacifism, which is her political affiliation, pacifism. So
mm.
they're fighting for peace at this point and ending war. That's basically what they're fighting for. And a lot of things happen. Like you have like what I said when it comes to Rurouni Kenshin and like Rurouni Kenshin, it's a battle of
Yeah,
ideals, principles, and philosophies, and moral standings. There's a really good story to tell with those type of fights. Everybody's
yeah.
fighting for their goals. Sometimes the goals is beyond them. It extends to everybody that they care about. Like Duel, up at this point, Duel has somebody to protect now. He's met someone at that point, or say Catra cares about everybody, but he's willing to fight for those he cares about. Yeah, he's kind of a mixed bag for most people who are fans of Gundam, because
Mm.
sometimes his principles don't really line up with his personality, or like his
Uh,
his actions don't really line up with his personality. Sometimes people he gets shit on a lot because people tend to call him out for having flip flopping ideals and goals, so to speak. But
oh,
but I tend to be the person like maybe if you give him a rewatch and see if your mind hasn't changed about Catra.
hmm.
Why I tell people who tend to shit on him for those negative faults of his.
Yeah.
So let's go with the next 1v1, and my 1v1 would be oh wait, sorry, we haven't gotten to your battles. I'm getting ahead of myself. What's your battle?
Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna assume that a battle can be like one person against like maybe a group of people.
I'm saying it involves at least, like, say for instance, one person against many, or army. Like
Yeah.
like like I'm talking about anime. When I talk about battles, I'm talking about armies versus armies. Like any anime war show that you watched, any warlike anime that you watch. It could be anything. It could be from mech battles to night battles to even gun battles. You can get into gunfights too. So go ahead, Owen.
Uh,
What's your next favorite anime battle?
well, this next one is like let's see. This one's from a very obscure, like perhaps unknown to a lot of people, kind of anime. Well, it's more of a like
Try me,
a two episode
because
only OVA.
I haven't.
It's called
Oh, two episodes.
uh, yeah, only two episodes apparently. And it is called Hurricane Holy Blood, which was based off of like a
Oh wow.
'70s show of the same name. Yeah,
Oh
but like
wow.
I saw the
I never
OVA
heard of that.
in the '90s.
You got me.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, you got.
sort of like an earlier version of like what you would get with like say Guyver, where this guy has this helmet, and when he puts it on, it turns him into like a cybernetic superhero. So in this
Okay.
particular moment in the OVA, he finally gets the helmet. He puts it on, and then he battles these people called Sharkmen, which are like have like the same sort of like armor, where it's not armor, but it's more like attached to their skin, like a symbiote. And so
Right.
here we have like Hurricane Polymar versus like these the Sharkmen, I call them, and it is a great
Mm.
fight scene. Like the animation style is quite cool.
You.
Like I think you might recognize it. It's you'd seen them in a
Yes.
lot
Yeah.
of
Send it
like
to me in the
'90s
DMs on
anime.
Twitter. Yeah. Send it to me on
Okay,
the DMs
but like
on Twitter later on after this,
I will.
so I can check it
Uh,
out myself.
yeah, it's pretty good. It's like animation wise, it's quite awesome because there's some moments where you like when he shows like a lot of tense and like the muscles, like you can see them like flexing and even show some veins in areas. It's like it is great, and the theme song they use for it, which is their opening theme. Oh, it's epic. Like it's just like oh,
Oh
I
yeah.
love.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I
Oh, oh,
always
oh,
I
oh.
always love it when they I always love it
Oh
when the
wow.
theme comes in. It's like
So
yes.
I guess we're coming in with the hour mark, so we can do
Ah,
one
okay.
more 1v1 and one more. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and do two more 1v1s, and we can stop the stream right here, and we can go hop in to Ishii and Kat's stream, which just started about 19 minutes ago. So
Oh, okay.
let's go with I'm gonna go with mines, and it will be Gara versus Rock Lee in the first part of Naruto. What do you think about that one?
Ah,
Gara versus Rock Lee. This is where we get a little more insight to Rock Lee's technique as a shinobi, or at least in this case, he was a genin because they were taking the tuning exams at that point. They were going to be tuning at once they're done with the tuning exams, right? So,
ah,
excuse me. We got a little backstory about Lee before he fought Gara. We even got a little before we got to this fight. We got a little insight to how Gara operates when he uses ninjutsu. He's sadistic. He's twisted. He's really like just crazy. That's how Gara is.
yeah.
And when it comes to Rock Lee is like notable for him being not as gifted as other ninja are in the Leaf Village. As a matter of fact, he has no skills in ninjutsu, and he damn sure doesn't know anything about genjutsu. But here is the one strength he has when he's lacking in both. He is a proficient master of taijutsu, and he goes into ninja belts with nothing but taijutsu. So what really made this moment for me, which we'll be getting into pretty soon, is that up at this point, Gara has this very special sand that protects him without him moving it, without him manipulating it all that much. It is basically its protective shield, which we know in context. We know the context behind that, why it protects him like that, which I'm not going to get into. I want everybody to follow that story. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, Casey Scott threw me off with this one.
Oh,
But yeah, Rock Lee. Rock Lee is just well out on Gara, and Gara is using the sand to protect him from every blow, every kick every punch that Rock Lee throws at Gara, and he's not even getting through him, right? Not until he reveals that he's been fighting with ankle weights around his shins. And the moment he takes those
Oh,
things off, everybody's like scoffing. Like mostly Gara's compatriots, Tamari, and I keep forgetting the guy with the puppet's name. Every time I keep coming up upon that guy, I keep forgetting his name. But like they're scoffing at the fact that he has these weights, and he's like, I'm gonna let off a little bit of weight. She's like, and Tamari's like how, so like how are you gonna fight better by shut off a few pounds? And the moment those weights hit the ground, everybody lost their shit, dude, because of how heavy those weights were. Those two weights made two craters in the ground, dude. Big fuck all craters. And the moment those things dropped, he went ham on Gara. He was moving so fast that Gara can barely even catch up with his movements to protect himself. And Gara led a hit. No, I mean Rock Lee led a kick on Gara, cutting his face. And again, his compatriots made mention that nobody ever touched Gara, and yet Rock Lee was the first that touched him with that kick. Oh my goodness. I was like, man, that was insane. Especially when Gara realized that he's actually got a opponent worth killing. That slasher smile he got like that killer smile. Oh man. And then when Gara starts opening up his channels, there's another trump card that he has, the 8 paths channeling of chakra. So he opens up, he's opened up the gates, and you know how this technique works, right? It's putting a strain on Rock Lee at that Go ahead, Owen.
I was gonna say I never exactly
What you were gonna say?
like watched. I was gonna say I never really watched Naruto, but like I'm aware of a little bit here and there from like discussions from other people.
If anything, check out that fight. Definitely, if you want to just gleam at some of the fights, and also definitely check out that fight, because that one right there was that's about, like, if you had to ask anybody, any fan about Naruto what was their favorite fights, pretty sure they're gonna say anything from Shippuden, which I gave up halfway in Sasuke retrieval arc. Like I'm sorry, everybody. Shippuden bored the fuck out of me. I was like, I'm getting bored. Like, I remember back when the first season of Naruto, it was all about, a ninja's goal is to always keep your opponent guessing. They were hiding in the trees, in the bushes. They like it was all about getting the edge over your opponent every single time. And back to what I was saying about the Gara versus Lee fight.
Yeah.
Like, that right there was like really just it wasn't really all spectacle. It was just like, again, perspective. Lee's perspective is hard work outbeats natural talent, and he was going against an opponent that was born with naturally gifted abilities. And before he even fought Gara, he also fought Sasuke beforehand, and Sasuke is also purportedly one of the gifted ninja in the Leaf Village, and he whooped his ass too. Mind you, he whooped his ass. It was like a really head turner for everybody. Like this one ninja that has no skill in ninjutsu and no skill in genjutsu beat one of the very more proficient and skilled ninja, and had the pleasure of fighting a very 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 overly gifted student as well in Gara from another village that's basically could easily have been their opponent, their enemy, in sparking another war if they wanted to, mind you. And Lee's goal at that point is to fight Neji of all people. Neji. You probably don't know who Neji is, which I'll say that for you to check out if you ever get around to watching Naruto. But yeah, he's like that's the reason why he's been training that much, because he's prepping to face off Neji. Neji is I believe Neji is his teammate, but at the same time also his rival. I believe Neji is he's a team member. Yeah. So that's all I gotta say for that fight. Let's go with your 1v1, Owen.
Okay.
Your next 1v1.
All right. This one is another Guyver choice I had.
Oh. Everybody, the Guyver prophet is speaking again. Go ahead, take it away, Iowa.
Yeah.
Take it away.
All right. This one comes from the OVA series, and it is dubbed
Oh yeah.
Guyver versus Enzyme.
Oh no. Oh no, yeah. You had of all fights, you had to. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not a bad fight for me. That's not what I'm saying. It's a horrifying ordeal to fight Enzyme. Go ahead, dude. Explain to everybody why I said "oh no" when you mentioned that.
Well,
wait, quick question.
Yes.
Quick question. Which enzyme are we talking about, though? Yep. Which enzyme are we talking about? Enzyme 1 or enzyme 2?
Numero uno. 1, the first one. The first
prototype. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, like, enzyme is basically, what is this one?
Now you're blanking on it because it's so amazing. It's so amazing.
Anyways,
dudes. Go ahead.
Now we're alright. So, anyways, like I got to explain who Enzyme is. Enzyme was basically Kronos' answer to how to take out the Guyver. Basically, their silver bullet, you could say, or Guyver's kryptonite, living kryptonite, I might add, where they like take some of the DNA of Guyver and turn it into basically an antibody, kind of like that legend of like the invincible shield beats the invincible spear kind of thing. So, anyways,
okay,
this was like towards the end of the first part of the OVA, where where Guyver faces off against Enzyme, who was by the way, I won't spoil anything because if we're planning to do a rewatch of the Bio Booster Armor version, so I'll avoid spoilers on that.
Yeah, we'll be continuing that as well.
Yeah. So basically, the sum up in the OVA with Guyver versus Enzyme, it is a nasty battle, and also for the time it came out in the late '80s, like it was definitely its best animation wise too. It was like, especially when you see him transform into Enzyme, I was like, oh, nice. But now the thing is too, at the time, like I was aware about what happens to Guyver when his control medal is released. I saw both live action films and then what happened in the anime. So I thought, I'm prepared what's going to happen. I was prepared. No, I was not prepared enough during Enzyme and Guyver's battle. Like what you saw.
You were not prepared at how gruesome it was going to be.
Yeah, but what you saw in like the first Guyver film about what happens, that was tame compared to what you saw in the OVA. That was that was brutal to watch. But that was also like one of my personal favorites because of that impact. Because it was like this was sort of Guyver at his lowest right there. Like he had his arm bitten off. He was getting exhausted, wondering where his backup Guyver 3 was. Like it was not looking good for him.
Yeah. I have to go with Enzyme 2's fight, but I'm not going to discuss that one because we already know we know
that
we know what's going to happen in that fight. But we're going to say that for for the Weeb Watch when we continue that, which
Yeah. Let's
still
just say
I'm still yeah
I
I'm
was
still
gonna
planning
I was gonna
on
say
the Weeb Watch when we're gonna do that again. Go ahead.
yeah. I was gonna say, let's just say when it comes to Guyver versus Guyver Enzyme 2, it just highlights just how sick and demented Kronos really is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. My 2 cents on the first enzyme fight, I was like, oh shit, dude.
Yeah,
There there's no way he's gonna get out of this, is he? And yet
no.
somehow he still managed to persevere through it. But it's at the end of the day he's still like Show, not Sean this
Yeah,
time. Show
yeah, yeah, show.
because in the live action movie he's Sean Barker in the live action
Yeah,
movie. Let me clear the air on that one. He's Sean Barker in the live action movie, but in as many people have seen
and
we
the
watch he's Show
show Fukamachi.
God damn it I'm blanking. Thank you.
Fukamachi.
See,
You're
this is
welcome.
why this guy is my co-host. Everybody, this is the reason why he's my co-host. Not really one this. There are many reasons, but this is the highlighted reason as of tonight. And let me take a moment to address Casey Scott's chat right here. Guyver Kryptonite is
Yeah.
silver. Are they werewolves? But
They
yeah,
literal hate
the
it.
enzyme fight is yeah. He was trying everything to hurt enzyme. Like you know what? Let me
Yes.
break out the context of this fight. Let me break it down for everybody. Enzyme up at this point is one of the most powerful zoonoids that was ever created by Kronos.
Yep.
Everything about him just speaks doom. Like the moment you take on Enzyme, you're fucked. And there's a reason why
Like
he's called
Doomsday.
Enzyme. There's a
Yeah.
there's a there's a reason why he's called Enzyme. His whole body has acidic substance all over. Any touch on him
Yep.
will cause you to will cause burns on you, like corrosive acid. He can he can he's
Yep.
immensely tall and giant. He's he's
Oh
just
yes.
literally big. He has claws like given the fact that he has acidic corrosive acid all over his body, it also means that if he touches you, he still will burn you. His claws will burn into anything
Yep.
he can claw his way into. His bite is 10 times more powerful than a crocodile or alligator's bite, or
Yeah.
any animal that has a strong enough bite force. Which is why he ripped ripped Guyver's arm off. Again, going back to the
Oh
whole
yeah.
acid thing, is also helped by the acid that he's able to do the things that he's doing. He's got a tail that's
Oh yeah.
basically a freaking scorpion tail, and dude,
Yep.
the way how he uses it is also brutal. Oh my goodness,
Oh
that
yeah.
was the biggest that was like the biggest thing. That was basically the biggest thing about Enzyme was the fact that you couldn't touch the guy physically. You could
Nope.
and like Guyver when he go after Enzyme, the first thing he thought was using his high frequency blade, and
Yep.
that gets cut by the acid. It melts
Yeah.
completely off, and I'm
He
like,
took
oh
his
my
arm.
goodness, how's going?
He did take
And I
Enzyme's
think
arm.
yeah, yeah, he managed to cut off his arm, but at the again, it's like it really
Yeah.
shows like how powerful Enzyme was at that point. Makes you wonder why he
Yep.
didn't use any of his ranged weapons either. Well, he
I
tried.
mean, he
He tried to use the Mega
in the
Smasher, and
OVA
guess
he
what?
did. Yeah. Oh yeah. He got hit right
Well,
in the
yeah,
chest.
yeah, and I think that's where he also ripped off his arm too at in that moment
Oh no
too.
no 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 no! That was when
And
he
I
like discovered his other projectile power, the pressure cannon in the OVA, where he like blew off half of Enzyme's
okay,
head. I will
yeah,
say,
yeah.
and
He
that
yeah
in
he
that what I was gonna say was in that bit, like at the end when Enzyme claimed victory, that was ooh, that scream. of pure pain and agony, if you know
Yeah,
what I mean.
yeah. When he
From
rips
the
out the
show.
control melt, that was like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
that
I was
was.
like, that terrified me. That
And
terrified
just
me
seeing him melt,
to the
just straight seeing him melt like that, that was,
yeah.
oof.
Again, like I said, I thought I was prepared for that death scene, but nope, I wasn't.
Casey
It
Scott's
got
on a
me.
roll here, man. Look at
Oh
what
man.
Casey Scott said. He's on a roll. Scorpion tail, does he yell,
Yeah.
get over here after using it?
No, it doesn't. Of course, the Scorpion sons,
So,
they'd run away screaming.
so yeah, that was, if anything, that was basically a more combat fight between Enzyme and Guyver. My 1v1 would be
Yeah, like,
sorry, go ahead.
I know. What were you gonna say?
My next 1v1 would be this is a mech one. Again, it's going back to the mechs
Yes.
again. My 1v1
Yes.
is Big O Big O versus Dorothy 2. The very
Uh,
first episode of Big O.
I think I remember. Yeah,
Here's
I've
why.
seen that show on YouTube.
Big O was like the it anime for me next to Wolf's Rain.
Mm.
And the moment when Dorothy 2 started walking into the to the city, it really screams pulp novel. Even the way how Dorothy 2 walks into the city, it almost feels like a front cover of a pulp book.
Mm.
But that's when it's in that moment where the shift in genres come in from the noir Batman storytelling to straight up mech battle in Big O, and how well they complement each other so swimmingly, man. And that's
Yep.
when Roger Smith says the famous line, "Big O in action." Oh, wait, sorry, I fucked up that line. That's that's right, Casey Scott. Big O showtime.
Yeah.
And that rousing celebratory music plays, and the Mechaduce erupts from the ground, and he's walking up towards Dorothy 2, and Roger Smith boards the cockpit, and the words cast shoot I'm blank I'm messing up as a fan right now. Cast in the
I.
name of God, ye not guilty. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
line that says on the screen.
Yeah.
Cast in the name of God, yea, not guilty. And that's basically telling whoever's the pilot of the Mechaduce that you're good to go to ride the Mechaduce or whatever Mechaduce that you're piloting. If it says
Yeah.
that, then you're basically ready to go. And this fight was amazing. Like he just straight up well out on Dorothy 2. Now guys,
Mm.
as I'm the reason why I'm saying Dorothy 2 is a Dorothy 2 is a giant robot. I'm not talking about our Dorothy, the maid, the robotic girl that later lives with Roger Smith in the later episodes. I'm talking about Dorothy 2, which was a machine that was controlled by her, strangely enough. And that's where we get into that to a big robot fight between them. And when Mechaduce uses one of his famous weapons, which that I call it the pylon fist, and he just cocks that thing back, and you see that pylon just straight up prep up, and he uppercuts Dorothy 2's gut and just fires that thing and blows a hole straight into it. I was like, dude, I mimic that fight every single time. Every time I see it in the opening, where he just cocks it up and straight up, sure you could that thing into the
Mm.
air and blast a hole into it, dude.
Uh,
That was freaking amazing. So we got one more 1v1 for you, Owen, and we'll be ending this stream soon. So give me your last 1v1.
All right, my
That was my
last
last 1v1, by the
one
way.
v. Okay, my last 1v1 fight scene is JoJo versus Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, the OVA.
Dio! Jojo. Oh, I see you're approaching me. How can I kick your ass if I don't approach you? Then approach me as much as you can. Approach Dio. Yes, dude. Yes, I recently saw
Yeah.
that fight. That was a spectacular fight.
Oh.
Please tell us, what
Yes.
did you think about that fight?
Oh.
Go ahead, Owen.
Oh man. All right. Yeah. Well, for one thing, for an anime that came out in the '90s, again, like animation wise, they pulled out all the stops on this one. Like the way they moved and everything was like cinematic, almost you could say.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. Especially with the stands, the abilities of the stands and the
Yes.
world.
Oh yes. The world.
Dio was like again,
He was
this
a
is
boss.
this is me explaining the build up to the fights. It goes back
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to me, it goes back to the build up. Dio has been in the shadows in the Stardust Crusaders art throughout the whole the art. Never wants to do the heroes face off against him in the middle of the art at all. They face him at the end.
Mm.
And this to most this would have been poor writing had Dio not been hyped up this much. Because what Dio has the advantage of is that we already know who he was in the first arc of JoJo, right, Owen? We knew what he's
Yeah.
capable of.
This was
We knew his personality. We knew what.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, like I said, I only saw like the OVA of it from the '90s.
And I only saw the recent iteration of it, so I'll go into detail.
Uh,
I was going into detail of why the fight for me in the recent JoJo series that's on Netflix currently it
yeah.
left an impact on me too, because again Dio has been around since even the industrial times of Great Britain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
He's a vamp.
we all know that he's a vampire, and he walks with the body of the great ancestor to the JoJo family line, Jonathan Joestar. He has succeeded in taking over the body of Jonathan Joestar, and he grows with power the more his body continues to adapt to Joestar's body, getting stronger every time. And he has minions to challenge again, measure the heroes in their abilities with stands and stuff. You know. So tell me what
Yeah.
sorry, what was the most greatest thing that you liked about this fight between Jotaro and Dio?
Well, like I said, a lot of it is with the spectacle, but it's also like this back and forth. Like I didn't know exactly who was going to win, but they were both quite evenly matched, and also in strategy too. Like when Dio stops
Yeah.
time and like fatally injures JoJo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does
And yeah,
dude, he's twisted when he uses his
yeah,
time when he uses the world's time stopping abilities. He just fucks with
oh
everybody.
yeah,
Like most of the crew just gets slaughtered by him. Like just whew. Especially what happens to
yeah,
Kakuyuin,
oh
and definitely what happens
yeah,
to old man Joseph. what he does to old man
Yeah.
Joseph, that's fucked up.
Oh yeah.
Especially in Stardust Crusaders, in the recent one. That's whew,
Oh.
Dio just sends chills down my spine, especially when his name get mentioned. Man. So, anything you want to add to the fight?
Just the fact that,
Nothing at
like I
all.
said, nothing at all. Just more like I just love how it was like in the '90s version from the OVA. I just loved how like really well animated it was for the time it was released. It really had a very cinematic feel to it that I've rarely seen in
Okay.
any other anime.
All right then. So, with that said, we can go with a few honorable mentions. We won't go into detail of the honorable mentions, but we can do some honorable mentions, and then we'll close this out. Actually, before we close it out, I'll be listing what we can probably do next time we do this again, Owen. So let's go with your honorable
Yeah.
mentions. Go with five.
All
Go with
right.
five. Since we're big on time.
All right. Number five,
It could be just
Goku
one v
versus
one too.
Vegeta.
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
most of them
Oh
one
yes.
v one. Let's see. Number 17 from another obscure anime called Urban Square, which I labeled the apartment fight, mostly because it's how well animated it was. Number three,
Oh wow.
Guyver versus Fem Guyver from the OVA short Out of Control.
Valkyria.
It, yeah,
Valkyria.
Valkyria, and yep, and then Goku versus Frieza.
Oh yeah. Everybody's favorite fight in Dragon Ball Z. You got one more, right?
Yep, and then yeah, one more is from another obscure anime called Cybernetics Guardian, and it is like the final showdown. Mostly just how metal it is.
Oh wow. Here's mine's now. Here's mine's. It would be this this is from Cashern Sins. Cashern versus Dio. No, we're not talking about
Another
Dio from
Dio?
JoJo. There's another Dio.
Mm.
Yeah, it's Cashern versus Dio. There's Ryuho versus Kazuma from S Cry. That's in s.cry.ed. So there's Ryuho
Ah,
versus Kazuma. That's from Adult Swim too. Um, Darsha versus Kiba from Wolf's Rain. And I'm gonna borrow from Casey Scott. Chun Li versus Vega. Actually, no,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
that's not my top favorite. I still love it though. I still love it. I still love it. But if I have to take from
That's
Street Fighter the
one of my
animated
personal
movie too,
favorites.
for obvious reasons, but from that movie, my favorite would have to be Ryu versus Phalog. Phalog.
The
That
Bruce
fight
Lee knockoff.
between Ryu. Yeah. Fun fact: that Fei Long in that movie is voiced by Bryan Cranston of all people.
Yeah, Bryan Cranston. We gotta start somewhere.
Dude,
I think he also
dude gets
voiced
around. He was
other. He also voiced a lot of the
yeah
monsters from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
yes, and he got to be Zordon in the 2017 Power Rangers movie. And my last one would have to be.
Full circle.
Whew, my last one would have to be. God, I'm blanking out. I would have to go with Alucard versus Alexander Patterson in the first Hellsing anime, their first encounter. Even though it's brief as all hell,
Ah,
that one
yeah.
that rivalry right there was also great. So let's go with what we're going to be probably doing next. If you're up for it, Owen, it's two
Mm-hmm.
fronts that I want to there's two things I want to do. Um, I want to start a stream where you and I just talk about 90s stuff, like not like
Never
from
grew
90s
up in the 90s.
shows to say again.
I never really grew up in
What
the
did you say?
90s. It was I never grew up in the
Early odds,
90s. I
right?
was born in 96. Yeah.
That's considered 90s, dude. You say you're born you're still a 90s kid, fool.
Oh,
You're you're
I never lived the
you're born
full,
you're
never
born.
had the full experience.
Well, I can help with that because I have a freaking time capsule in my head of everything that was. I could pretty much sum up 90s for you, or at least my interpretation
Ah,
of 90s.
okay.
So that's one stream idea. Also, we're gonna try to continue the next few episodes, the next 5 episodes of Guyver Bio Boosted Armor,
Ah,
and
yes.
next also on the list will be our now mind you now mind you we do not hate these fights, we do not dislike these fights,
Right.
but these will be our all-time
Yeah.
least favorite anime fights. Meaning, what? Let me give some context as to what I mean by least favorite.
Mm,
What I mean is they're not particularly as good as the ones that we discussed here in the stream. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's that we did, or at least we can discuss on what we didn't like in some of the aspects. Like it still be a good fight, but there's
Yeah.
some things that we just didn't like. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why that's what I mean by least favorite fight scenes or battles or fights. Like it could have been better, or at least it just doesn't stack up to what our top favorites are. Now we didn't go through our whole list. I'm pretty sure we have an infinite number of anime fights that we love the most, but we also do have our own long list of anime fights that we like the least. So
Maybe.
I was thinking about doing that as well.
Uh, I mean,
That's
right.
almost a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, because
Go ahead,
I'm,
I go ahead, Owen.
I'm. All right. I was gonna say I'm not. I may not have a complete list of that one, but I definitely know one of a certain live action film I can definitely rant about for a bit.
That'll be our top hated fight scenes. Then,
Yeah.
oh yeah, definitely. Chris P. Vampire Hunter D versus Count Magnus Lee. Yeah,
Oh,
as a matter of fact, we can talk. You know something? That'd be another we watch too. The original Vampire Hunter D anime, which is also on YouTube, I believe. If I can find it, we can probably
yeah,
do that. I mean,
yeah,
I think for you prefer to watch your stuff as we do the we watch, right?
yeah,
Owen,
yeah. If I can find it or buy it yeah, possibly.
because
It all
I
depends.
don't want you to just be buying for the sake of us watching. Like if you got a back catalog of anime that you can just pop in, just let me know what you have in your back catalog, okay? And then I can see what we can do
Okay.
to keep this whole rewatch series that we're going on. So far, what we can do is Guyver Bibles to Armor, and I think we can just go ahead and clear that one out first. So
Yes.
anybody up for that too? For us, we watch continue the we watch of Guyver. You know what? Let's go with that. Let's bump that up to the top as top priority for next Saturday stream. Are you up for that one? The
Yes.
next 5 episodes of Guyver? Yeah, I'm down for that too. So yeah, So thank
Yeah.
everybody here for joining us and hearing us gush about fights that we like. I'm sorry that we probably didn't bring up any ones that you were
Yeah.
hoping that we would bring up. I was hoping that people were going to interject and like give us their little favorites. But I'm guessing a lot of people that we know don't really watch anime all that
Yeah.
much, aside from Chris P and Casey Scott so far. And Chris P is up for Let's Finishing the Guyver. So that tells us one thing: they did like the rewatch last time. Oh hell yeah! So
Yes.
that's what we're gonna be doing next Saturday. Next Saturday we're gonna do the next 5 episodes of Guyver, the Bio Boosted Armor, and I hope to see you guys there. And it'll be yet again the same time, 6 o'clock on my end, 9 o'clock for everybody else. If you guys are up for that,
Yep.
and hopefully no more setbacks this time, like last time when the stream decided to kick me out, and I'm the freaking main host.
Hopefully.
God damn it. Again, I'm still proud of you for that one. So,
Yeah.
thank you
Thank you.
guys for joining us.
Yeah.
Chris P. Throwing me off again. Saitama versus anybody in season 1 of One Punch Man. That could be a list of heroes. That could be a list of best to worst. So, have a good night, everybody. This has been your werewolf, Wolf Tan Media, and the Guyver Prophet himself, Owen. Sign
Yeah.
us off.
All right. Good night,
You're supposed
everybody.
to say.
Remember to like, subscribe, and if you don't, I'm gonna release my Mega Smashers on you.
You don't want to see his Mega Smashers. I've seen them. They're brutal.
No.
So take care, everybody.
Peace.